Hello, and welcome. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness, and welcome to my channel. I'm an author, speaker, and seminar leader. And on this show, I talk about how to expand your world of thought, exploring the world of positive thinking, Bible-based sometimes, law of attraction, and consciousness from many points of view. I intend to share with you information that will enlighten and empower you in your life. I am here to encourage you to think in the positive and show that miracles can happen. I truly believe you have been given the power of the word and thought to create the life that you desire. For those of you who are new, just finding me, welcome. And be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so that you will be notified whenever I decide to upload some awesome information. Well, we are on part 3 from Catherine Ponder's chapter 7 Secret Attitudes for Success. And this is coming from her book, The Prosperity Secrets of the Ages. Now, I didn't mention this before, but this particular book was written or copyrighted in 1964 and then revised in 1986. So this isn't like some of my other things where the author was 1910, 1912. In the part 2, I talked about Wallace Wattles and his book, The Science of Getting Rich. That was written in 1912. So basically what I want you to know is there's nothing new under the sun. It's just the way people present it. And I like to present from many points of view. So let's get on with part 3. Part 1, we talked about the first 2. Your first success attitude, let there be light. Second success, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, a firm feeling, faith in what you're looking for. 3, it was, and God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear. So what that was saying is mentally image the highest and best result you can. Dry land. Let the light and the inner convictions that have already come in this particular situation be gathered together in one place, and let divine results begin to appear. So, and 4, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of heaven to divide the day and night. And what we found out is that we want divine understanding in the matter. Let there be light. Let us see from the good and the bad, from the thing that we truly want to the thing that we really want to get away from. So let there be divine understanding in this manner. So now let's go to the 5th success attitude. And God said, let the waters swarm with swarms of living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven. Now, I've mentioned this many times before, that I look at the Bible as an allegory, a symbol of the way things can be, right? So she says the swarms of living creatures and the birds mentioned here symbolize ideas that became active in our thinking. Ideas that became active in our thinking. So, how many times have you been thinking and you got this idea and that idea? Or think about the times you might have been doing something and something popped into your head and you went to start doing something else. There's that cartoon where somebody went into the other room to get something and then they noticed something and they started working on that, and then that led them to something else that led them to, that's a swarm of ideas. And eventually they got back to the original thing. So after having decreed light, she says, attained a firm feeling, mentally pictured the best result you can conceive, and have restrained your human will from forcing a result by decreeing that divine understanding is showing you what to do, then you reach this fifth success attitude in creating your good. She says all kinds of ideas come alive, and they seem to swarm, I like that, through or even fly through your mind. And I think about, I have an idea. So I've made multiple quilts. And in my quilting days and going to quilt retreats and stuff, many of the women that I was retreating with, they were making a pattern. They found a pattern and they made it, and then they put the quilt together in the different fabrics, and it was interesting. Once I learned the basics of quilting and I'd learned different designs, I started designing my own quilts for what I was feeling like for that day or for that week or for that particular fabric. And I would do combinations and folks would go, what are you doing? But these were ideas that just kept coming into my mind of, well, I can take this pattern, or, oh, look at this. One time I even saw a Persian rug and I found fabric. Now that was a long and tedious kind of thing, but it was a tedium of love. And the quilt turned out to be like a tabletop, but it looked like a Persian rug with all the designs based on the fabrics that I used. Sometimes you might get confused when you get a lot of ideas in your head. But when you start getting those ideas, get ready for things to happen. Catherine talks about Solomon knew the success power of ideas, and he acquired great wealth by using them with judgment and discrimination. And she quotes from Proverbs 2:11. Let discretion watch over me, and let understanding keep me. And so therefore she says, I want you to declare, let there be divine judgment and discrimination. Let the light divine ideas and the right results appear. Let divine order, harmony, and balance now reign in the situation. And if you want it a little quicker, you say, I know what to do and I do it. I like that. Because sometimes ideas are so overwhelming, or the thing that you want to happen is large, so large that you have no idea what to do. Neville Goddard, which there should be a playlist for Neville. Napoleon Hill, Wallace Wattles, Catherine Ponder, Florence Scovel-Shinn. They all come down to the I know what to do and I do it. Neville Goddard said, if you can't think of it, just say thank you. Each one of them says simplify it. You know, Catherine has these long decrees, and I go, why should I? I'm not going to memorize this. But I would bring it down to just a succinct thing, and that's what I want you to do. Now, her example is a woman that was very busy, and a friend of her asked her to shop for a certain item of clothing that was not available in her area. And she only had her lunch hour in which to shop for the clothing, and she was confused. And so therefore she decreed, divine judgment and discrimination quickly lead me to make the perfect purchase at the perfect price. Divine order goes before me and makes easy my way. You know, I like to say basically the same thing. You know, of getting what I want at a price that I want to pay. You know, I have no idea of how I'm able to get XYZ easily and effortlessly at a price that I'm willing to pay. Very simple one. And she said, the perfect price, divine order goes before me and makes easy my way. So she shopped. She couldn't find something at the divine desired price. She was about to give up, but she knew that divine order, judgment, and discrimination would come her way. She was tired, but she decided to try one more store, and the clerk in the store was able to bring her the item in the right size and the right color and at an unusually low price. She was even able to get it shipped to that relative that afternoon. So when you're looking at these things, just keep being patient and calm when you have all these ideas or you're overflowing and you don't know what to do. Just ask for what you want. The sixth attitude. This one's kind of long too. It's from Genesis 1, 24, 5, 6, 8, and 31. She kind of skipped. And God said, let the earth bring forth living creatures after their kind. And God saw that it was good. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the earth, and subdue it. And God saw that everything he had made, and behold, it was very good. She basically said, after you've acted in these orderly ways, well, I couldn't get that word out, and you've used good judgment, you've used discrimination, then more ideas after the same kind, using that scripture, may come to you, which to also take action. Even though you've previously taken an action, then these new ideas, these new things, may produce more good in your life. Right? You got through those first 5 steps. Things were answered for you, and you pronounced it good. So, firmly, after you may have had fear and indecision, you've had questions, you've had doubt, but you've gotten the situation taken care of, you can declare it as good. So overcome doubt and fear in your life. She's got a couple of examples in her book. One woman said, let there be light. And this one story is talking about a dental technician. and she was not happy with her job, and her doctor was disagreeable and negative, and she realized that she didn't have to deal with this. So she blessed the situation. So we're going back to that second lesson. She blessed the situation, and it didn't give any improvement. So she needed to seek employment elsewhere since nothing was happening where she was. Now she took a drastic step and went to a different city, different state, and she had to work for her license, but she couldn't obtain that license. And she kept saying, "Let there be light, let there be light." And she was getting to the point that, she was not able, or her money was running out, basically. All right, she applied for several types of work, but nothing was offered. She rested, she relaxed, she let things happen, but she wasn't able to get a job. And it would have been months before she could take the examination again. So she decided to go home. And, sometimes we don't want to go back to where we came from, or we don't want to admit something, this was a failure, right? But she decided to decree, and behold, it was very good. So she decided to decree that the idea that she left home, went to another state, didn't get her license, wasn't able to find a job, but she went back home and declared it was very good. When she got back home, she found a new job in her profession, and she discovered that she was easily able to relocate in familiar surroundings. She declared it was good, right? That trip to the other state, and it was worthwhile because it helped her to see that maybe that time was not right for her to live in that other state. She had learned that working conditions were better and salaries were higher in her home state. But if she hadn't gone to that other state, she wouldn't have learned that, right? She wouldn't have known the difficulties of living in that other location. But while she was there, she got to see things. She got rest and relaxation. She chose not to stress. She had found freedom, and she said it was very good. So even if you feel as though you have failed, and when things had not worked out, declare it good anyway, and you will be guided into it despite changes or rearrangements in your plans or results. And I'm going a little longer today because I want to get to number 7, your final success attitude. And on the 7th day, God finished his work and rested from all his work which he had made, and God blessed the 7th day and hallowed it. Many of you have heard the term let go and let God, which is symbolized in this success attitude. How can I know when the time has come to let go and let God? Well, if you do the first 6 attitudes, and then you let go and let it work completely. This is your last attitude, not your first. Listen to this. This is your last attitude, not your first. She goes on to talk about a businesswoman was frantic because her beauty shop business was in decline. Instead of using some of the foregoing success attitudes, she had attempted to just let go and let God. Well, nothing happened. At least nothing prosperous. She contacted Catherine. She said she was padlocked out of her beauty shop because of non-payment of rent. She shouted on the phone, "Why doesn't God do something about this?" How many of you have done that? Why has God forsaken me? Why has Universal Spirit just let me go? After all, I let go and tried to let God work this out. And I can imagine Catherine was kind of snickering on the other side of the phone, because she had to explain to this woman that God can only do for us what he can do through us. Let me say this again. God can only do for us what he can do through us. That our minds are divine instruments for God's blessing. So it was suggested that she first begin to think straight. Let there be light. And she follow on any ideas for straightening out this situation came to her. Yeah, she was like, huh? I still have to do something? And that God would work through her for her success? She says it came as a further shock to her that she was literally to take action in the matter. Listen, guys, how many of you have just sat there and said, "Well, I'll just let God take care of it. I'm here waiting for the answer. He'll take care of it." No. You have to do something. And she said, "You mean it's all right with God if I borrow money from the bank to pay the rent? And if I advertise to bring in new business?" I even laughed at that suggestion. Right? Come on. She, it's like, what? Did you expect money to just walk into the door? Yes, you can borrow money wisely at a good rate and knowing that you can pay it back. Right? Borrow money from the bank, pay the rent, and advertise to bring in. So she wasn't even advertising to bring in new business. She was counting on word of mouth. Yeah, you can do that once you're so busy that you have to say, "Well, I only take new clients from the suggestion of other clients," right? So when assured that all these methods are God-given, she says, "Well, when do I let go and let God?" And the answer was, ready? Not until you've done all you can in your thinking and in your actions to make the situation right. So please be aware. She says, don't fret or try to force your good into visibility. Decree it is done. This is a time of divine completion. Remember, this is after the first 6, right? Attitudes. The perfect finished results now appear, and they now manifest in God's own wonderful way. I rest, relax, and let them. Divine intelligence is never too late. Divine intelligence is always on time with my good. And she says, this is the end of this chapter, then gather your forces together, rest, relax, and enjoy this quiet time. This opens the way for your desired good, to burst forth full blown. So remember, you need all 7 attitudes. And if you've been taking note, you know what each one of those are. And you can always get the Prosperity Secrets of the Ages. I have put the link to it on Amazon. And just so you know, I do get a little commission if you use the link, which helps me continue in my work. All right, so that's that chapter, and chapter 4 is your gateway to successful living, and that will be the next video on this subject of the prosperity secrets of the ages. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and share this information with your friends and family on X, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you are online, and when you're talking to people. This is Beverly Fells Jones, the Silver Fox of Consciousness. As you have believed, let it be done to you, and it is so, and I will see you in the next video.